this is one of the two topics that I wanted to talk about this week, because they're the two things that I think go hand in hand with your nutrition part when it comes to anything menopausal, like when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to losing belly fat, when it comes to feeling your absolute best. These two things also need to be on point. So today I'm going to talk about stress. And say hello if you're here. Hey, Summerlin. Hey, Kim. And again, as I'm going through, if you have any questions about anything, please go ahead and post them in the comments, and I will answer them if I see them. Otherwise, I'll answer them afterwards. Okay, so today I want to talk about how stress affects our hormones, particularly during perimenopause and menopause, and how it contributes to belly fat. During perimenopause, our hormones are going up and down, right? They're all over the place. They're going crazy. They're not balanced. They're just all over the place, which can make us more sensitive to stress. And even more so when we're postmenopausal and our hormones are very, very low. So if you don't know this, progesterone is your calming hormone. So when you're in your perimenopausal years, it's doing a lot of this. So that's why you're like, oh, I feel good. Oh my gosh, I want to feel somebody. Oh, I feel good. Oh, I'm so irritated. Just up and down. And then when you become postmenopausal, you're feeling like high-strung and crazy and anxious and all that all the time, because your progesterone has dropped so low. Okay, so that is what's going on. It's actually your hormones doing this. But if you can learn how to work with your body when it's going through these times, you can learn how to feel better and manage these experiences that are going on. So when we experience stress, our bodies produce two key stress hormones: adrenaline and cortisol. Maybe you've heard of them. So adrenaline is wired, it's the way you react, and cortisol is how your body reacts to stress. So these hormones are part of the body's natural flight or fight response. But when they are constantly elevated due to chronic stress, so when you're constantly in that fight or flight response, they can disrupt other hormonal processes, particularly estrogen and progesterone production. So how does this affect our body, right? So when we're stressed out, we react in several ways. And there's lots of different kinds of stress. So there's stress when you work out, which is a good kind of stress. There is stress when you underfeed your body. That's a bad kind of stress. There is stress from being overworked at work. There is stress from your boss wanting to have a talk with you. There is stress from having children, right? So there are good and bad forms of stress, so you have to pay attention to them, but they're all forms of stress that your body's going through. That's why even sometimes if you are already in a constant state of stress and overwhelm, sometimes working out may not be the best thing, because it's just driving that stress even more. It all depends on how you feel. Okay, so when we're stressed, our bodies react in several ways. So, we have increased heart rate and blood pressure. We breathe faster. We get muscle tension. We get all tight and tense, right? And also elevates our blood sugar levels. So while these are important, and this is how our body should respond in short bursts, so short terms of stress, chronic stress over and over and over again can lead to other problems like depression and anxiety, exhaustion and insomnia, headaches and brain fog, risk of serious health conditions like stroke or even heart disease. So stress could kill you if you don't learn how to manage it and deal with it. I'm going to take a quick drink. So for those of us that are going through perimenopause or menopause, stress can exaggerate these common symptoms. So they can make all these things worse, and they can make your hot flashes worse. Maybe you have them more frequently, they're more intense. Maybe it affects your sleep, right? You're not sleeping at night. You're waking up in the middle of the night and you're not able to fall asleep because so much is on your mind. You have a lot more mood swings, so a lot of up and downs. Also digestive issues like we've talked about. So bloating and indigestion, these things are affected by stress as well. But one of the most frustrating aspects of menopause can be the increase in belly fat, often referred to as menopause belly, or the muffin top, or there's so many different names that I've heard it called. Chronic stress plays a significant role in this. So the sustained levels of cortisol, so right, we get stressed out, our cortisol levels spike. This is going to lead to the fat storage in your belly. This also happens because our bodies are trying to increase estrogen production by storing fat around the stomach. So when we're going, like I mentioned, when we're going through perimenopause and menopause or postmenopausal, our hormones are dropping. So not only is our progesterone, our calming hormone, dropping, so is estrogen, which is our happy hormone, right? Gives us energy. But estrogen also is what keeps that fat storage off our bellies. So when that's dropping, our bodies are just naturally storing belly fat around the belly, around the hips. It's just how the body is made, okay? So you're not necessarily doing anything wrong when that happens, but there are ways that you can combat that, right? And on top of when we're stressed out, what do we do? What do we do when we're stressed out? We crave junk, the unhealthy foods, high-calorie foods, fast food, anything that's good, and what that happens, that further contributes to your weight gain, right? So not helping you. Research has even shown that women who are more vulnerable to stress tend to have high levels of cortisol and more abdominal fat, even if they are already thin. So if you're someone who's always your whole life been really thin and you hit that menopausal years and all of a sudden you're like, this belly fat just came out, that's why, right? Because of the estrogen. Okay, and this fat that we carry around our middle is not just a cosmetic issue. It is associated with higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, and other health problems. So not only is the stress causing the belly fat, but the belly fat is also causing other hormonal symptoms and other hormonal, health problems, right? There's so many different things that are going on in our bodies, and if we can try to fix any of them, that can make our health so much better. That can make us live longer and feel better. So now I want to talk about some practical ways to manage stress and to support your hormonal health, right? So we've already discussed all of this part, the nutrition, right? That's the number one thing. So avoiding the processed foods, the high sugar foods, which can spike your blood sugar and increase your stress. Eating all the vegetables and the lean proteins and the healthy fats, getting the right combinations of those is also going to help. Staying hydrated, drinking all of your water, so the 80 plus ounces of water every single day. Having that balanced hormone nutrition, putting together that hormone healthy plate is going to, first of all, not create as much stress internally on your body so that you can manage stress externally a lot easier, okay? The next thing is moving more. Again, we've talked about this, regular exercise. So you want to do the strength training. You want to go for walks, or maybe it's yoga. Maybe yoga is calming for you and that's something you need because you have a lot of stress in your life and that makes you feel good. If so, then do that. Great. Prioritizing sleep, which I'm going to talk about on Thursday. Again, this is one of the two things that I want to talk about. When you maintain a consistent sleep schedule by going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, it creates a good, healthy, happy body, not as stressed, right? When you get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, you're not as overwhelmed and stressed and feel like you're just burnt out the next day, right? You can manage the stress when it comes on, when you have good rest. I'll tell you what, which did not help me yesterday. I did not sleep good at all Sunday night, at all. So me trying to do anything yesterday was just, I was irritated, I was angry, and I wanted to get things done because I had so much to do, but I just couldn't because I was so tired. And fortunately, my stomach was feeling bad. Otherwise, I would have just ate all the junk, right? So prioritizing sleep. If you want to manage your stress, you have to prioritize your sleep. And so what that means is, you know what, I'm going to talk about this on Thursday, so I'm not going to go into it because there's a lot that I want to talk about. But anyway, quality sleep is essential for regulating your hormones and your metabolism, which can help to reduce belly fat. So, prioritize your sleep. So, let's say you have a lot going on in your life, you're overwhelmed, you have a lot of stress. Number one thing you can do, because I learned this personally, I used to walk around and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out, I have so much to do. And guess what? My body felt it. My body felt overwhelmed and stressed out and felt like it had so much to do. When really, it wasn't more than any normal But the more I continued to put that out there and say it, the more I felt it. I have not done that in about 4 years. And which is ironic that I didn't say it over the pandemic when it was very stressful. But it's helped me to be more calm in my body, to be more, to manage things better, to work through things, because I'm not saying I'm so stressed out. So if you find yourself that you're saying that a lot, you need to stop. Instead say, you know what, I have a lot to do, but I can deal with it. Like, just changing the way you speak about it is gonna change the way that your body reacts to it, okay? But let's say you're in those times of stress, right? You're at work and your boss asks you to do something, or your kids are driving you crazy, or just whatever it may be that's causing stress. You're in traffic and there's so much traffic, you're stalled, you have to get somewhere, you're gonna be late. You gotta let go of controlling everything, for one, because some things you just can't control. The next thing is, this is the number one thing that I tell my clients to do, is practice meditation or deep breathing to calm your mind and to calm your body. Because the sooner you can calm down your system, calm down your body, the sooner that you can keep that cortisol from driving up. So doing box breathing, it's as simple as inhaling for 4, so holding for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds, and then holding for 4 seconds, and doing that 4 times. You can do that in your car. You can do that when your kids are running around and you just need to calm down your system before you react. You can do it before you tackle a project that you need to do, or your email, or whatever it is. You can do this literally anywhere. It's one of the best things that you can do. Again, it controls down your whole central nervous system. When you can control that, you can keep those cortisol levels from rising. Some more things you do something that brings you joy. Find some hobbies. You need something to balance out the overwhelm and stress of life with you doing something fun for your life. It needs to not be like this. It needs to be like this, or even more like this, right? And you can call it self-care if you want, but I call it things that bring you joy. Something that makes you happy, something that makes you smile, something that makes you feel good. So it doesn't need to be a massage or a manicure or a pedicure, which those are all great. It could be reading a book outside. It could be swinging on your porch swing. It could be gardening. It could be, I have a client who loves to paint. She's amazing. She does a great job painting. And painting is her one thing, and she keeps putting it off, but she's like, oh my gosh, I feel so good when I do it. Whatever can take your mind off the stress and do something for you, makes your heart happy, right? Also, like using social support, so connecting with friends and family regularly. Excuse me. Social interactions can provide emotional support and reduce feelings of stress. So being around other people, don't be that yes person all the time and go to these things if you don't want to. Say no, but if you say yes, go and have fun. I tell you, there's sometimes I have events that I need to go to, and I really have to change my mindset about it. But once I get there, I'm so happy, and I leave feeling great that I did it. But there's also times when I don't feel guilty saying no, because I know that it's not going to serve me or my body or anyone else if I go. Post your struggles in this group or in my other free hormone group, so that you can gain insights from others going through similar changes. Like, I think the more us women speak about this and talk about it and put it out there, the less we're going to feel like we're all alone in this whole situation, right? Because I think until just recently, like, I didn't even know anybody talked about this stuff until I started doing more research, until I started making that free group. I feel like I couldn't speak to anybody about it because I thought people would think I was crazy. But when you got a lot going on in your life, when you got the hormone stuff going on, talk about it. Because the more you talk about it, the more you ask questions, the more you learn, the better you're going to feel, the less stress you're going to feel. You're not going to feel like this is all my fault, I'm doing everything wrong. No. And you're not alone in this, okay? This one is huge. Time management, right? I have my clients, when they start my program, go through this time management process, because it's a matter of, because how many times a day or week do you say, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time? When it came to tracking foods, did you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to find time for that? When it comes to meal prepping and making foods or meal planning, I don't have time for that, right? You have to find the time. You have to make yourself a priority. So when you do, everything is less stressful, right? So my clients, I have them look at their calendar through the whole week, put in things that they need to do every day, certain hours of the day, if they're working here, if the kids have to go here, appointments they have, and then when's their meal prep, when's their grocery shopping, when is their me time? Because that self-care me time is so important. So I make them schedule it in, okay? And making sure you're not overscheduling yourself. Saying no. It's okay to say no. Women, we want to do so much for so many people, but it's okay to say no. And if, as a woman, anyone should understand for that reason, okay? It's okay to say no. And if you have a lot going on, write it down. I have a notebook with pages and pages every single day. This is Tuesday, my list to do, and I keep adding onto it. And then I go to Wednesday and Thursday, and if there's something that I can't get to, I move it to the next day. But instead of leaving it up here and thinking I need to do all the things every day, I just write it down, check it off. So make things more manageable so you're not feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so when it comes to menopause and the muffin top, managing stress is so crucial, as you can see, for so many reasons. Because your hormones are not helping you to deal with the stress. You need to learn how to deal with the stress. The stress of life will never go away. It will never go away. So if you don't learn how to manage it piece by piece, you're never going to lose the weight. You're never going to feel good in that body, and you're not going to lose that menopausal belly. Okay? So by using some of these strategies, hopefully you can, move through this transition time and minimize the impact that stress has on your bodies. Keep this in mind. Taking care of your body, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity for so many reasons. So many reasons. You are the caretaker of everyone else. If you don't take care of yourself, who's going to do it? Has to be you. Okay, so now I want you to share, what do you do to manage your stress? What self-care things do you have? What me time things do you do? When you feel overwhelmed, what do you do? How do you react? What do you do to help balance out the crazy life with joy time, happy time, whatever makes your heart happy time? What is that? I want you to post them below. Share them with us, because maybe you have a technique that I didn't mention, and it would be helpful for somebody else to see it. So I want you to share those below. That's it. Thanks for joining me. I hope that this helped. I hope this is useful. If you have any questions, go ahead and post in the group. The goal of all this is to make all these things that I'm teaching you is to make this journey through menopause so much smoother and to make it more manageable. Because it's not going to get easier, but if you take the time to take care of yourself with these little bits and pieces, I promise it's going to be a lot. It's going to feel so much easier, and you're going to feel better about it. So let me know if you have any questions, and have a great rest of your day.